where the puck is going. I'm ahead. I'm thinking the puck is going to go here, so I'm going to go this way before it even gets here, and he's right there. Okay? So with fear, you have to attack the thing by going through the process and just expecting, okay, there's going to be some resistance, but also expect to have success. You have to expect both ways. 3.0 in your notes. Here's an easy one, but it's big. Know the state of your flocks. For all of you MBAs out there, quite sure you've heard of the SWOT analysis. He's nodding his head. SWOT, S-W-O-T, for those who haven't, I'll just explain. What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? What are your opportunities? What are your threats? SWOT, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. You must at all times know your service, know your product, and know your company. You have to know what you offer. You have to know what you offer, because that's going to help you develop the difference. On 3.3 in your notes, actually it's right here. What problem does your company solve? Or can it solve? You are paid to solve problems. Some people solve problems for $100 an hour. Some people for $10,000 an hour. All depends on the problem you're solving. Two things a company want to do. They want to save money or make it. Or both. Right? Am I right? It's in the Bible that if you're a diligent person, you'll prosper, you'll be wealthy, and it's okay to make profit. It's okay. So if you know the state of your flocks, then you know your difference.
But I think you also want to know the state of your adversary or your opponent or the other side's flocks as well. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? What are their opportunities? What are their threats? So you can deal with their concerns as well as your own.
Absolutely. Good point.
That's where you find the middle ground. It's not just knowing what you come to the table with, but knowing what the other person can bring to the table, or what baggage you would like to get rid of.
Very good. Excellent point. Excellent point. And what's funny? There's no need not to be able to do research nowadays. Without giving away my age, there was a time where it was just an encyclopedia. And that was it. Then comes this thing called the internet. All right? It changes everything. Networking events, wisdom, knowledge. There's so many things that's out there. And some of you probably could have global businesses. Maybe some of you do right now. With the advent of the internet, it's amazing to me how many people, just from what I do, from Canada, Australia, Germany, contacted me because of the internet. So know the state of your flocks. A friend of mine is an executive coach for primarily Fortune 250 executives. And recently, he and I were talking, and this company approached him and said, hey, we would like you to work with some of our executives because we've heard about you and want to give you a shot, but we need some quotes and things like that. We're looking at different people. So he said, okay, so he gave him a monthly quote. And so when he went to meet with them, they said, man, you're just as expensive as some of the other guys that have been in this business longer than you. And I love what my friend said. He simply said, well, I'm not them, and you're getting me and my experiences. And that's the price. And guess what? He got the business. He got the business. He said, you're getting my experiences. You're getting mine. You can have 2 construction workers, 2 sets of different experiences. Doesn't matter. It has to be more than about the quote. That's why if you know the state of your product, quote doesn't matter. You can go quote, hey, go get 100 quotes. Here, I'll give you a list of people to call. But when it comes to me and the value I'm going to offer you, that's where the rubber meets the road. Okay? So 3.0, know the state of your flocks. 4.0, here's a big one. Be patient when change comes. It's coming at some point. Just like you said, expect the objection. It's going to happen. Many people resist change. No one likes change. It's just like if you haven't exercised in a long time and you start working out, you find that you have muscles you never knew you had before. And been there? I've been there. It's like, oh my gosh, right? What this is part of my body? What is going on? And it's change. Your body's going through change. Same thing with a negotiation. The same zeal that you have, you've got to keep from the beginning through the end. I'll never forget this. One of the first sales jobs I had some years ago was with selling office equipment. And I'm sitting in this insurance agency, and I was not saved at the time as well, which is a whole other story. But I'm with one of the senior reps. She's there, and we're going back and forth. And this guy, I'm starting to think, look, he's pulling our leg. Let's just say what I want to say and just get out of here. You know, and she's like, no, let's just. So I'm going back and forth. It's going to cost you this per day, and you know, you got a warranty, and everything in the copier and the equipment is going to be covered, and this and that. And so they were in like a storefront with his insurance agency, and his daughter was the receptionist. So as we're talking, I notice a guy comes in the door. And so as we're talking, the gentleman asked his daughter, who's that coming through the door? And he said, oh, this gentleman, he's just here selling copiers. And I'm selling copiers. And the guy says, hey, tell him to come here. Be patient when change comes, right? Now remember, I wasn't saved, guys, okay? There's all types of things running through my mind and my mouth at the time. And I had to zip it. So here I am, he had the audacity. Oh, these guys are from this company, and you're from what company? Oh, great to meet you. So tell me about your copier, right in front of me. And so I'm looking, I'm just not saying anything. So the guy says, oh, I can get you a demo machine tomorrow. We cost this, this, and this. We can work out all types of terms. And the guy says, okay, bring a machine tomorrow. And he leaves. And so then he looks at me and says, so what do you say about that? And this is what I told him. I said, sir, I would like to get back to the business at hand, what we were talking about. That's it. Can we do that? I didn't even acknowledge the other guy. And I had to be patient when change comes. Now, if I would have said what I was really thinking and wanted to say, you know, a lot of things would have happened. And a couple of days later, we end up getting a purchase order from the guy. But we just let him know, like, we're going to be patient. Here's a little change, a little something that's getting a little thrown in the wrench in the machine here. But this is how we deal with it. Because I stood on what I believed for the company. You have to always do that, no matter what. So when change comes, be patient, but also change, in your notes, I have it here, can represent opportunity. How about negotiating with somebody for months on something, and then all of a sudden you call and they say, oh, I'm sorry, the purchasing agent is no longer here. You have a new contact. Thank you, Lord. Right? Some people say, oh, God, I spent all this time, you know, working on this person's gone. No, you spend all this time and you have a new person now, and this person has to take respond to your emails. They have to take your phone calls because they're so new, they don't want to lose their job. They've got to answer to everybody. And you've built a relationship. They don't know if you talked to the CEO or whoever, or if you played golf with them, they don't know. They know they better take your call. So change also can represent opportunity for you as well. Now, how do you handle change yourself in the midst of a negotiation? When things start to go not as planned, or you can sense like, okay, there's some change going on here. How do you handle it? Anyone like to volunteer?
I get pissed off.
Thank you. There you go. Right? Right?
I was just going to say, if you build on a strong character base, you can handle anything. Because, and I found this to be true with some of the most difficult prospects I've had. I'm not the most dynamic salesperson.
Okay.
But I've always extended almost extreme value to everybody that I've spoken with. And in many cases, they've turned into clients. I've had people tell me, you know, hang up the phone next time somebody talks like that. And I stuck with the call, and I valued the person that became a client. So I always try to just build on
character.
You know, character and integrity myself.
It worked for Solomon. He did it as far as his business. You're right. It's funny because talent will get you there. Talent will get you in the seat that you need to be with a prospect. But it's your character that's going to carry you guys. It's your character that carries you. That's what it's really all about. You know? Yes?
Just to piggyback off that, you know, years ago I read a book that said everything's negotiable. And though part of my brain says everything is negotiable, integrity and character should not be negotiable.
Absolutely, Anthony.
So
excellent.
That's something that jumps out is that in life, in our homes, in our careers, whatever it might be, integrity and character should not